Good morning, Thursday the 27th of August today, and this is Saba's Way of Life. Apologies for the picture quality, there is something wrong with my camera, but really the video is about the words and the message. Today I want to talk about what do no harm means. Again, this is my perspective. And no perspective is wrong, nor is it right, because wrong or right, those words and meanings don't come into it. It's a perspective. It's just a reminder that truth stems from the heart, only from the heart, not from the mind. So if you resonate with the perspective I'm talking about, and if something stirs in your heart, then don't ignore it, but feel into your heart. So, because I'm talking about my energy, that am in the process of not eating meat. Now, really important that you follow my thread here, because even I'm trying to articulate the thread in the right way. This video is not about meat or not meat. It's just an example that I'm giving of do no harm. Now, the reason that innerstanding has come to me is not because someone has said to me it's bad for you, or it's wrong to kill animals, so don't eat meat. Because if it was as simple as that, I would have stopped a long time ago. I've been a chronic, I'm going to use the word chronic now with my eyes now wide open, a chronic meat eater from day zero. I was born into a family that ate meat as its primary source of fuel, and did not believe, I say that in quotation marks again, because that word is not in my dictionary anymore, but it is in the third dimensional dictionary, because the belief system was that God has instructed us to eat meat. And again, there's no right or wrong here, it's a belief system. I've talked about belief systems in previous videos, the last 3 or 4, so if you're listening to this for the first time, it's always best to go to make context, listening to the last 3 or 4 videos. So I've eaten meat all my life, and had the understanding that, not from a religious perspective, because I don't follow any religion at all. My heart tells me what's right and wrong now. But I understood that it's vitally important to eat animal flesh, because we would not be nourished completely without it. And indeed, some years ago, 12, 13, 14 years ago, I suffered from Crohn's, and it was bone broth and meat flesh, animal flesh, that actually helped me heal, and it did. It was part of what helped me heal. It wasn't by any means all of it. But even that is not what I'm going to share with you. So let me share the story. I have a wonderful partner who is vegetarian and has been from the age of 20, because he had an experience in India, an esoteric experience that changed his entire thought pattern on eating flesh. Even that didn't jolt me one single bit. I respected that, but that didn't mean anything. A few 3 or 4 months ago, we met with some friends, and one of them is what is known as a pundit, a Hindu pundit. But these are friends of mine who I have known for many, many years. My children and their children were at the same school when they were just little. And he, the husband, said to me when I said, I'm considering stopping meat, I'll come back to that. And he said something to me. I don't even remember the exact words, but what I do recall is that my heart just shook. And I said, I'm not quite ready to stop doing that just yet. And he said something which I think related to consciousness. And he said, this is not quoting word for word, but something along the lines of, it's only when your consciousness recognizes that taking another life or something along those lines awakens to it. And he said it very calmly, then it will happen. Because and that jolted me, because those words reminded me of the inner knowing that we all have, that our heart always knows the truth, and the heart is love. And something jolted me in my heart, and I knew it was truth, the words he was speaking. So that gave me some room for thought. It was I don't even think it's the words he used. It was the energy around him, the calm nature of the way he spoke with a smile that did it. Not with a jeering smile, with love. Now, I've also been not studying, I don't like that word, but I love researching, and when I research now, I research from an inner knowing, and I follow my heart. I've been doing that for a long, long time now, which is wonderful. So it's not about using my mind to say I need to read this and this and this to gain this innerstanding. It's more about knowing that there's an inner wisdom within me that's growing day by day. And that's the word wisdom. Wisdom is very different to knowledge, which I also interchangeably use ledger of knowing, know-ledge. But actually knowledge all stems, even ledger of knowing stems from here. The mind, the thinking mind, not from wisdom. Wisdom stems from the heart, and it is steeped in truth. So when I research, I follow what my heart leads me to. And recently, I'm always digressing, and that's good, because I'm following the flow of my heart. It just means whether you have the ability to sit down and pay, I don't want to use pay attention, but take the present moment to hear what I'm saying. I've been reading about, and I'm very, very interested in the beings that live on different planets, because we're not on our own here. And the Pleiadians have constantly been coming into my mind and heart for quite a long time. I'm very interested in astrology. There's a lot of channelers, but recently I've been listening to some of their work through some extraordinary channelers who are very little known because they're not interested in social media marketing. They just put out to share. You have to go in and have a look at their history afterwards, and I've shared them before. But through that avenue and source, I listened to a video on YouTube that talked about do no harm and the innerstanding of meat. Now I'm going to go right into it. First of all, the innerstanding that we do not need animal flesh for nourishment. I'm going to repeat that. We do not need animal flesh for nourishment. When we recognize and wholly embrace within our hearts that we are energy beings and we are not this dense body that's sitting in this third dimensional reality. Now this is really, really important. When we recognize that we are pure energy, and that comes from our heart, our entire cellular biology will start to shift. It's almost like the floodgates open to the wisdom that we always knew, but we have forgotten. When that happens, because that's happened to many of us, especially recently, I mustn't digress. Not only will one not need meat, but one will physically not be able to consume it. You see, when we recognize that we're energy beings and we start to feel from our heart is love, pure love. That's who we are. We are light, and light is love. And when we recognize that from a place of love, it's impossible to do harm to any other creature, but also to ourselves and to anything, to the plants, to children, to others, even those we don't particularly resonate with. I don't want to use the word like, it's resonation. That happens because when there's a realization that we are pure energy, first of all, we stop identifying with this body. So that's the ego. The ego starts to melt away. And as it starts to melt away, light starts to enter the body. You feel it through the heart. Well, I feel it through the heart. And when at the same time we learn how to handle emotions, and this is very important. I talked about emotions in the previous video, and the one before that. When we start to be able to recognize what emotions are as well, the concept of doing no harm to ourselves suddenly starts to make sense. When we eat animal products, that being has been killed. Now, on the premise, remember to completely put aside your belief systems now. They don't exist, because that word doesn't exist in the dimension that I live in and I'm sharing with you. I'm sharing a perspective. Animals have feelings. Animals have hearts. Animals are highly intuitive. Even the ant and a bee, they're not pests. And our energy, etheric energy, light body does not need meat. And we cannot even access our light body fully when we are eating products, not products, but when we're eating an animal that has been killed, because that energy is flowing into us. That's fear energy. Remember, the polar opposite of love is fear. And fear is the very thing that when light enters, it dissipates. So why are we putting the energy of fear into us, regardless of whether that animal has been looked after really well and even dispatched in what now I just think it's crazy, in a humane way, quote unquote. How can any humane way, it's humane in the third dimensional form, not in reality, because there's no humane way of taking a life. There's no humane way of doing that. I'm really trying to keep this message focused, because I could digress into so many things, war and all of that energy, which all stems from the lack of understanding of do no harm. Do no harm. Ahimsa, Sanskrit word, do no harm. We are actually harming ourselves, because remember, I am you and you are me, and I am the birds, the bees, the animals. This is not an airy fairy poem. This is absolute truth. We are each other, so we're just harming ourselves. And for those of you who have a deeper understanding, or some understanding of what ascension is, which isn't going up anywhere, it's embracing our multi-dimensional selves and our light body, that will never, ever, ever, ever happen if we are consuming and taking products that take anything, food that involves taking another life. No. It's the same thing with cane sugar. I'm not really digressing here, but this is important. There is no form of cane sugar that is good for us. It has been, even in third dimensional reality, been proven without a doubt that eating sugar is a drug akin to cocaine, because it hits the cocaine centers of our brain. And whilst it doesn't openly make one feel high, or as cocaine does, the effects are immediate, it does have the effect of tearing holes in our etheric body, in our light body. And this is a novel thing I'm going to say for those of you who are not aware. It instills fear into ourselves. Now, Sugarcane grows naturally on the earth, but it is not native to earth. We need sweet. I'm going to repeat that. Sugarcane is not native to earth. Can I prove it? No, I don't need to. I read it and heard it through a source that I trust. Again, it is through the same Pleiadian source. But of course, the effect of it, it's obvious worldwide. It's killing us. And look at how people are. Your heart will tell you. Just consult your heart. There's a difference between sugar and sweet. Natural sweetness comes from coconut flower blossom, raw honey, good quality stevia, birch bark, I think, something similar. Maple syrup. Of course, use your understanding of the doses, but that's natural sweet. I've switched to coconut flour sugar, and I was thinking, well, I'll slowly go from coconut flour sugar to and cut out the cane. But the thing is, I can do that immediately, because there's no point saying, well, I'll have a little bit of rat poison, but not a lot. Where meat is concerned, I'm phasing it out, because having if I remove it, and there's a lot of nourishment in meat, but it's dead nourishment, it's nourishment from taking another life, I'm phasing it out. So I'm not eating, again, I'm following my heart, not my mind. I'm not purchasing any more meat at all. I won't do it. But will I eat at the moment? Yes, but I'm already naturally kind of going off, and as we keep doing the inner work, those of us who are understanding this, we will eventually let go and start taking in foods that are nourished by the sun, the water, the light, fruit, and protein such as hemp protein, which grows naturally here on the earth and doesn't do much damage to earth either, and understanding the use of beans, but not having to eat very much at all. The timing, eating in alignment to nature, the circadian rhythm, which I've talked about for years and years and years. Those are the things that are important. It will take time. Do no harm. The other thing that's happening, now I'm switching subject a bit, is I'm sitting here today, and it was only less than 24 hours ago that this huge landslide happened on the Tibet-Nepal borders. And of course, we've had earthquakes almost every day somewhere around the world. I mentioned in a video, can't remember which one, but not too long ago, that Mother Earth is now clearing, she's purifying herself. Nature is tired of how we've treated Earth, Mother Nature, and we have come to the time now, again, I don't want to use that word because time doesn't exist, but we've come to the moment now where Mother Nature has said enough, and she is erupting her volcanoes. She is causing earthquakes, and she's clearing out. And it's really important. There can be a comeback where one might say that, well, that's cruel. People are dying. How can Mother Nature do that? Well, that's only if you perceive the fact that we leave our dense bodies, which would never be here if our consciousness was different. We would be in our light bodies, all of us. We've created this density. I'm digressing again. But we don't die per se. We just leave this dense body, and we choose to come here for these times. When you let go of the fear, you won't be, oh, I'm dying, because that concept, dying, is related to time and age, and there is no time and age. That's, again, where those belief systems have to go. And I would say to you, drop the belief systems and go back to what Mother Nature is doing. She is evolving, and Earth is clearing and purifying itself. And those of us who are waking up to who we are, will also be purifying. We're purifying our emotions. We're purifying our bodies. We're learning the concept of in Lak'ech, which is I am another yourself. We are all one. Unless we do that, it's going to be very, very challenging for us to sustain ourselves on a new earth that's happening. And I've repeated this before, many of us will choose to leave our bodies. Our work would be done and we'll come back and have to do it again. It's all choice. Everything is choice. There's no right or wrong. And others who are wanting to, I mean, even just by watching this video or watching videos that talk about human evolution, we have chosen, those of us who do that have chosen that path. So we would like to evolve as Mother Nature purifies herself, and we'll do a lot of inner work and let go of the petty things that don't matter anymore. I'm still working on that day by day by day. The innerstanding that we are timeless. Time is becoming liquid. That's why it's moving so fast, because it's becoming liquid, because there is no past or present. You know, these are all different subjects to talk about. But do no harm is, we must embrace this wisdom and truths. This is what nature is asking us to do. And we must align ourselves with nature. We must align ourselves with nature. We must align ourselves with nature in every way and work with who we are, because we are nature. I really hope even one tiny message has come through to you, and I will share some links below. We've been harming Mother Earth for so long, and that has to stop. How long have I been talking? Long enough. That has to stop. And if we don't stop it, nature will, and it's happening right now. So have a lovely day and speak soon.